Welcome to SUAANGAN. I'm your host, Janine Blake. We're here outside the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, where Geddes Wolki is taking his training to become an engineer.
Originally from Sax Harbor, Northwest Territories, Geddes now lives in Edmonton, Alberta. His training to become an engineer not only involves the educational component at NAIT, it also involves on-the-job training with Welco Beals Manufacturing Incorporated. Edmonton is a long way from Geddes' hometown of Sax Harbor. We asked him to tell us about his family and his home community.
My parents are Geddes and Inuvialuit. I have two brothers, two sisters, Elvis, Jim, Bridget, and Evelyn.
Tell us about growing up in Sax Harbor.
Well, there's no trees. It's very small. Population probably 120. When I was there was a lot of recreation. I try to do quite a bit of that, but it's not much right now. But summertime, spring and summer, all the kids are like out and playing out. They could play out for hours. Like when I was there, like I ran an arena, so we try to hold little tournaments, like Paul Tuck would come, and just small little tournament like that. Skidoo racing, dog racing, and all the games, I guess. I went out quite a bit. I always went fishing, hunting caribou. When I was young, I barely hunted muskox, but now that there's not much caribou, they hunt more of that now. Springtime's the best right now out there. Hunting geese, fishing, playouts. Didn't play much hockey till I was older. And I ran an arena for a bit there. And I skated like every day. So that was pretty good.
Geddes went to school in his home community of Sax Harbor, Northwest Territories until grade 10. Then he had to leave his home and family to attend grades 10, 11, and 12 at Samuel Hearn Secondary School in Inuvik. The students in the Beaufort Delta and Sawtooth regions had to leave home and live in Grolier Hall if they wanted to continue their education past grade 10. We asked Geddes about his years at Grolier Hall in Inuvik.
It was a little bit tough at first, but got used to it. Grolier Hall. Well, I started there with Richard Carpenter. There was David Nasgalowak Jr. I met a lot of people from all over. Probably the first year was the hardest. You're trying to get to know people. Like, we were pretty young, and have initiations, and I forget what else, carnivals and stuff like that. There's Sax, Politak, Tuck, Aklavik, McPherson, and the Sawtooth. But it was fun playing the sports. Played volleyball for high school. Played Brumal on the men's team. And there's 3, 4 of us always got picked to go with the men's team, travel to Yellowknife. That was pretty fun. Even the one time we went all the way to Victoria, BC for the Western Canadian Finals. There was me, Richard Carpenter, Louis Edgy, and Jackie Jacobson. In high school, I did a lot of math. I started off in a general. I did 13, 23. Then I switched to academic. I did 10, 20, 30. Half of 30, I had to switch back to 33 though.
What did you do after high school?
I tried to go to art college, but I didn't like the course there. Then I moved back to Sax in 1990. Yeah. And I started at the co-op. I worked there about 2.5 years, and I moved up to assistant manager pretty quick. And I don't know, summertime, drove heavy equipment for, I don't know, 5 summer seasons. And I worked at IDC accounting for a little bit too. Then I just decided to go to school, and I applied to NAIT.
Sax Harbor is a small community in Canada's Western Arctic with a population of approximately 130 people. Once again, having to move away from his home and family to continue his education, Geddes now lives in Edmonton, Alberta. We asked him about living in the city.
It's not too bad. You get used to it right away. Well, I didn't, it wasn't very hard for me, so, even though I'm from a small town.
What's the hardest part of living in Edmonton?
It's just basically being away from family. Like back home, you know everybody, and you get to visit anybody you want. And here, not too many people come down here and visit. It's just too expensive.
SUAANGAN will return for more of our profile on Geddes Wolki after these messages.
Before the break, we spoke with Geddes Wolki Jr. about his family, his home community of Sax Harbor, and his education. Now we'll talk to him about his training to become an engineer. He's employed by Welco Beals Manufacturing Incorporated, where he works during the summer and takes the educational component of his training at NAIT during the winter months.
Well, last semester I took, the first semester I took calculus, physics, electrical, statics, and English. And I can't remember the other ones. Second semester I took the machine course. We had a welding course. Materials. My first course I took was pre-tech. It's just kind of gets you back into like the high school courses again, because I was out of school for 7 years before I came back. Then I tried engineering, design, and drafting for 1 semester. Didn't really like it. And I took civil for about a year. Then I kind of went to work for a little bit, and now I'm taking mechanical engineering tech, which is pretty good. I'm halfway done.
What are some of your favorite courses?
Well, we had a metrology course, which is like on measuring like very fine measurements. That was a pretty good course. I think I did pretty good in there. We had a machine shop course where we worked in a group to build a product, and that was pretty good. I don't mind the CAD course too. You just work on computers, do designs. And those were my favorite, I think.
How did you become employed with Welco Beals?
Well, first started, I got a summer job with SRA Homes in Kelowna. Then I was supposed to come back here to go to school, then I had to wait till next fall. Then I got an interview to come to Welco. Then I worked till I had to go to school. And it just went from there. Go to school from end of August to end of April. And I work here for the summer.
Norterra Incorporated is the parent company of Canadian North, the Northern Transportation Company Limited, or NTCL as it's known, and Welco Beals Manufacturing Incorporated. Carmen Loberg is the president of Norterra, and he gives us an overview of Welco Beals Manufacturing Incorporated.
Welco is a manufacturing company with a head office and large plant in Edmonton. We make attachments that go on the front of large construction equipment, caterpillars, hose, buckets, blades, grader things. And we have a large plant in Langley, BC, and a plant in Tacoma, Washington. So we make industrial heavy equipment attachments, and we make cranes that go on trucks to lift heavy equipment around the industrial work sites.
Doug Schindel is the president of Welco Beals Manufacturing Incorporated. He's been with the company since 1973, and he tells us the history of Welco Beals.
Welco started as a repair shop primarily in 1946 by a single entrepreneur, and he grew that in Vancouver only until 1974 as a single point operation. At that point in time, we looked at the Alberta market and saw the growth opportunities, built a shop in Edmonton, and that's when I came to Edmonton in 1975 to become part of the startup of this operation. We've got three primary product lines. The biggest one is the construction equipment attachments. We build loader buckets and excavator attachments and log grapples and cabs and bulldozer blades, all the things that are particular to the construction and mining and forest industries that make a machine particularly adaptable to a certain product or application. Our second line is truck-mounted telescopic cranes from 5-ton up to 40-ton capacity, and they found a particular niche market in the Alberta oil field because they are very heavy construction and they are designed around what we know best, which is our backyard, and that is the Alberta oil patch. And the third product line has been developed most recently because of the privatization of British Columbia and Alberta highways. We found that the highways contractors were looking for something more in the way of road maintenance equipment. So we've got into sand spreaders and truck-mounted snowplows and side wings, particularly designed for our conditions in Western Canada and designed around the private contractors. Edmonton normally runs right around 200 employees. Geddes came to us as a wanting to take training in engineering, and what we have done, he worked for us for a little while to show us what skills he had, because he had been working in a couple of other jobs where he got to use some of his designing and computer skills, but realized that he needed more formal training. So between Welco and Norterra, we've put together a training program for him which allows him to go to school during the fall and spring semesters and work during the summer to practice the skills that he learns in school. And with that basis in the business already, it gives him a much better idea of what he needs to learn in school. So often, and I went through exactly the same program that he's in right now, albeit a long time ago, and came out of there really not knowing what I was going to do with all of this education that I'd received. And I think it's much more beneficial for them to be able to do a work share program so that they understand immediately the applications of the education that they're receiving. We've got two different programs. One would be the more technical, which is where Geddes is involved, where it requires more extensive education. He goes to school in September and he doesn't finish until early May, I believe. So there's a good part of the year that we don't see him. Our other beneficiary programs are apprenticeship programs where they will come and work in the shop every day, and the apprenticeship training is 6 weeks out of the year and happens approximately once a year. So we see a lot more of them, and that is really more of a learning on the job as opposed to an education in conjunction with working. When he finishes his education, he will leave NAIT as an engineering technologist in the mechanical engineering specialty. That's kind of like coming out of university with an engineering degree. You still need to go beyond that to get professional certification, and working at Welco with the other people in the engineering department, then he serves what would be barely or somewhat equivalent to an apprenticeship, that after 2 years he can then become a certified engineering technologist, which is along the same lines as a professional engineer is to an engineering graduate. And then I believe there's one more level after that, which makes him a registered engineering technologist. And most of what he has to do to get those is to work under the direction of a professional engineer or another registered technologist to certify that he's been doing the kind of work at the level that's required for professional certification.
SUAANGAN will be right back with more of our profile of Geddes Wolki.
Originally from Sax Harbor, Northwest Territories, Geddes Wolki Jr. is training to become an engineering technologist in the mechanical engineering specialty. He attends NAIT and is employed by Welco Beals Manufacturing Incorporated. We asked him about his duties at Welco, and he said that detailing drawings and designing for prototypes are his favorite duties.
Yeah, basically, like with a new prototype, I don't mind doing that. Kind of the work orders are kind of so-so, but that's where all the money comes from anyway.
Tell us about a regular day at the office.
Well, summertime we usually have hours from 7:30 to 5. I do a lot of work orders and detailing drawings, especially right now we're making a new prototype, so there's a lot of work in designing for the new crane.
What are some of your hobbies or interests?
Go to hockey games. Like go to the park. I like going to the park. There's all those geese, so you just feed them from your hand and go rollerblading.
Wanda Norwegian is the Director of Human Resources and Career Development for Norterra. She provides ongoing support to Geddes for his training.
Stick to it, like keep up, like try to get good marks, and I'm doing not too bad. And just basically, I just stay with it.
We asked Wanda to tell us about the career opportunities that Norterra offers for their beneficial shareholders.
There's two areas that Norterra has the Human Resource and Career Development Program for beneficial shareholders. One is the employment side, where if there's a vacancy, every beneficiary that has the requirements for the job and believe that they are capable of doing the job are most welcome to apply for it and compete for it. The other part is the career development side. Each company has, in our peak season, we have over 1,100 different careers, different jobs that are filled. And the Norterra group of companies provides a career development aspect to our beneficial shareholders, where each company identifies what areas they want to support for a given year, or whether it's longer term. An example is Geddes Wolki. He is in engineering technology. He's going to NAIT, getting his educational side of his engineering. On his when he's done his educational component, he's working at our Welco Beals Manufacturing Company to get the practical side of his program. And his program consists about two to 3 years right now. And that's one area that in our cultures, both Inuit and Inuvialuit, there isn't a lot of engineers that we can take a look at and in the future have those people filling our positions. So that's a key area. That's just one example of how we would promote a career development position. I've spent a lot of time, because we have a number of, there's a lot of beneficiaries that are employed, and there's a number of beneficiaries on career development. Geddes is one of those people. I spend probably, because we just reviewed his position last year when I started, I've spent a lot of time with him and his manager and Welco Beals president in terms of developing his program, something that Geddes wanted and something the company's willing to invest in. So I would say we keep in constant contact because we have email. It's easy to get feedback to see how they're doing and ideas of how we can improve our programs. Because he has been with the Norterra Group companies for a number of years. It's an ongoing process. It's every day that you're dealing with a beneficiary or a senior manager in finding ways to, if there's any challenges. I'm 15 months into my position, and I have yet to deal with each and every position, because one of the things that we believe is their careers and their employment has to be meaningful, something that is definitely something we believe in, and we want them to be happy where they are, and the opportunities to even move up in the organization, or if they're on career development, to assume any role if they become available.
I think they're proud of me of what I've accomplished so far. But it's a little bit hard, like being away from your family. And it's like so expensive to get up there. Well, in the second semester there's a bunch of students came from Aklavik, and I got dragged in there to talk to them. Told them what the courses I'd taken, how I like it, how I like living here. Wasn't too bad. Some days, and in school especially, but I just try not to get discouraged, because some days you get off school at 4 and then you're doing homework till midnight and still you're not caught up. And you get work every day. You just gotta work at it. Well, get your high schooling done, figure out what you want to do, and probably go to college or university and get your diploma, degree, and go to work. About a year and a little left to go. But actually I've been in the field since '99, so I just need a diploma.
That was our program for this week. Thank you for watching SUAANGAN. I'm your host, Janine Blake, and I'll see you next week.
If you'd like to contact us, you can mail us at the Inuvialuit Communications Society, Post Office Box 1704, Inuvik, Northwest Territories, X0E0T0. Our phone number is 867-777-2320. Our fax number is 777-2744, and our email is demopta@permafrost.com. Production assistance for this program was provided by Norterra Incorporated.